Nevada desert. The middle of the night, temperatures near freezing. An engineer is driving alone. No other cars, no other lights, just miles of empty highway cutting through the sand. Suddenly, a light appears behind him in the sky. Not a plane. This thing shoots straight up, then stops completely, then vanishes in under a second. He pulls over. His hands are shaking, and he knows exactly what he just saw because he used to work there. His name was Bob Lazar, and what he revealed in 1989 blew the lid off America's most secretive facility. A claim that, to this day, has never been officially confirmed. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. It's not whether Area 51 has UFOs. It's that the CIA has admitted, in its own words, that it deliberately let the world believe in the UFO cover story for decades. Why? This is the real story of Area 51. And trust me, the truth is stranger than the fiction. Area 51. For decades, this place officially did not exist. A blank patch on the map. Tucked inside the Nevada Test and Training Range, near a place called Groom Lake, a 39 square kilometer piece of land the US South government wouldn't even acknowledge by name until 2013. The story begins in 1955. The Cold War is at its peak. America is terrified the Soviet Union is pulling ahead, and they need one thing above all: a place to test their most secret weapon, completely hidden from prying eyes. CIA engineers go looking for a dry lake bed, flat, hard ground where a plane could make an emergency landing if needed. Groom Lake turns out to be perfect. But the very project this base was built for is what triggered the UFO sightings that made it famous. And that was not a coincidence. Keep this detail in mind. It's the key to everything that follows. In 1955, the CIA builds a new spy plane, the U-2. It flies at an altitude of 21 kilometers, so high that no radar, no pilot, and no instrument of that era was built to make sense of it. When commercial pilots spotted the U-2 from their cockpits, their own instruments couldn't process the altitude. And when sunlight hit its silver-coated body at high altitude, here's what's actually happening. When an object is at extreme altitude and sunlight reflects off its metal surface, the human eye perceives it completely differently than at normal distances. A silver or titanium aircraft, lit up at sunset, can genuinely look like a glowing saucer, because our brain isn't built to correctly judge speed and distance at that scale. So, coming back to our story, through the 1950s and 60s, air traffic controllers were calling the CIA almost daily, reporting unidentified objects in the sky. The CIA had two choices: admit it was a classified spy plane, or let people believe it was something else entirely. They chose to let people believe it was something else. Officially, it's estimated that more than half of all UFO reports in that era were actually U-2, and, later, OC-CART A-12 test flights. Oh, but if this was just a case of mistaken identity, why did the CIA actively encourage the myth instead of correcting it? We'll answer that shortly. But Area 51 was never just about planes. There was a man here who gave up his entire life for this place, and the world never even knew his name. We'll call him Frank here, because most real Area 51 workers still refuse to reveal their identities, even decades later. Frank was one of thousands of engineers, pilots, and technicians who boarded an unmarked plane in Las Vegas every morning in the 1960s, a flight people nicknamed Jant Airlines, and flew straight to Groom Lake. His family was told he had a boring desk job. His wife never knew what he actually built. His kids never learned what their father really did, because if he ever told anyone, his security clearance and his entire career would be gone instantly. Men like Frank built America's most advanced spy planes, but even after retirement, they had to keep parts of their own lives secret, forever. Vintage unmarked Boeing 737 taking off from a Las Vegas terminal, silhouettes of workers boarding, a family photo left behind on a desk. Men like Frank are the reason America won critical parts of the Cold War, but their story was never told. They were Area 51's real secret, not the planes, the people. But then, in 1989, one man broke that silence, and the world was never quite the same. In 1989, Bob Lazar gave an interview to a Las Vegas TV station. He claimed he had worked at a site near Area 51 known as S4, where the government was reverse engineering 9 alien spacecraft. He said one of the crafts was powered by an unknown material called Element 115, an element that, at the time, didn't even exist on the periodic table. Evidence supporting this: in 2003, scientists actually synthesized element 115, moscovium, in a laboratory, years after Lazar's original claim. Evidence against this: no government employment records have ever been found linking Lazar to Los Alamos or the S4 site. His claimed academic degrees also could not be verified. Perspective 2. It was a cover story. Some researchers believe Lazar's interview was itself a form of CIA-orchestrated disinformation, designed to distract attention from real, ongoing programs, like stealth aircraft development or nuclear weapons testing. Remember the question from earlier? Why did the CIA actively promote the UFO myth? This is why. Alien rumors made the perfect cover for their real secrets: stealth bombers, nuclear tests. While the public chased aliens, the actual secrets stayed hidden in plain sight. But the most disturbing truth about this place is still ahead. Because inside those hangars, people didn't just keep secrets. Some of them paid with their health. Area 51 wasn't just a mystery. For some of the people who worked there, it was a health disaster. In 1994, several former Area 51 employees sued the U.S. South government. They claimed they were forced to burn jet fuel and unidentified chemicals without any protective equipment, leading to severe skin and lung diseases. The government had the case dismissed by invoking something called state secrets privilege, meaning the evidence was considered so classified it couldn't even be shown to the judge. That legal precedent is still used by the U.S. South government today whenever it wants to shield a classified program from a courtroom. Some of these workers paid with their health, and their case, to this day, was never officially resolved. And then, in 2013, something happened that nobody expected. June 25, 2013, the National Security Archive, through a Freedom of Information Act request, pried loose a CIA document the agency had buried for decades. For the first time, in writing, the U.S. South government admitted a place called Area 51 exists. But notice what the document did not say. There was no mention of aliens, no mention of spacecraft. It simply confirmed that the site had been used for testing the U-2 and OXC CART spy planes. So the real question was never whether Area 51 is real. We've known that since 2013. The real question is this: if something this big could be hidden for that long, what else, right now, are we still not being told? So what do you think? Was Bob Lazar telling the truth? Or was his story the perfect distraction, engineered to protect something else entirely? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. So let's recap what we actually know and what we don't. We know Area 51 is real, and for decades it was where America tested its most advanced spy planes. We know that secrecy is what turned thousands of ordinary sightings into UFO reports, because classified aircraft were mistaken for something else. But we don't know what was really happening at the S4 site. We don't know how many other Area 51s exist around the world today under names we've never even heard. And maybe that's the most unsettling truth of all. We assume we know everything, but the reality is, we only know exactly as much as someone, somewhere, decided we're allowed to know.